Yes, this is John from Flint Talk Radio, and today I have the great pleasure of sitting down and talking with Krysta Youngs and her mother, Jacqueline. And you are from the area of Flint area.
I am originally from Flint, Michigan.
And you are currently now a singer.
I am.
Yeah, surprising. I had to pull your microphone up. Sorry, oh man, it's not up there. Anyway, sorry. I don't want to blast people, and I have to gauge it there. So apologize for that. So you are a local person doing good.
I'm trying.
Doing great.
I'm living the dream.
Yeah, living the dream. It's and it's like you are now kind of like working out of Nashville.
I am. I just moved to Nashville about a year ago from Boston. I went to college in Boston, and then I moved to Nashville, and I've been there for a year, and it's been kind of like songwriter boot camp for a year. It's been great. It's been stressful, kind of, but it's been really cool.
So it's like kind of see, so you're a Midwest girl and went to the East Coast, now
right.
in the South.
Yeah, I've kind of made a little bit of a circle.
Yeah, kind of a cultural shock there, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. Every place I go, it's a new thing, but I like it. I enjoy it. You only live once.
Yeah, it's like, or some people say maybe 2 or 3 times. I can always like show the proof of it, but okay. But anyway, I'm glad you're in here because you, this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
It is.
And one of the songs you wrote, we'll get into it later, but is dedicated to your mother, a survivor of breast cancer.
It's called I'll Believe in You, and I wrote it for my mother when she was diagnosed 2 years ago.
And it's like, I just like, I've had like a lot of experience with cancers, different types of cancers in my family. My grandmother, on my dad's side, my paternal grandmother, she had breast cancer back in probably the mid to the late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And she resulted in having 2 radical mastectomies.
Okay.
And then she later on got bone cancer and then took up smoking for some reason and died of lung cancer.
Right.
So I mean, but anyway, that was like it was a horrific thing to. It was terrible for us. I mean, she handled it pretty well, I think, but it was over a period of 20-some years. She died in '92 ultimately of lung cancer, but she did survive the breast cancer.
Yes.
But it was radical. Now I don't know if they actually changed a lot of that or actually, if that's like the last resort. But radical mastectomy is basically the thing they just grasped.
Yeah, that's what they used to do back then, and they thought that was the answer to everything. And now with research and experimentation on different treatments, they've realized that you don't have to take off the whole breast, and it's not the end all to the cure for breast cancer. So that's pretty cool that they've been making new discoveries and bringing new awareness to different treatments that you can have.
Now I listened to the track, the song that was dedicated to your mother, and. No, you're down Nashville. People would probably think that would suggest you're a country singer, but I can't really classify that as a country song.
No, I'm not a country singer, and it's great because I go to different writers' rounds, and people do a lot. There's still a lot of country music in Nashville,
right? And
people say that it's not, but it is, which is fine because the songwriting down there is amazing. But it's very cool to go into different clubs and bars, and people are expecting that from you, and you give them something that's more pop rock, and it's fun, and it changes things up.
I see it's been demonized too. Pop has been demonized, but because they kind of want to blow it off. And see, I could be in 2 minds of that simultaneously. Yeah, I listen to some of the stuff on the radio, and that's crap. It's just I don't want to hear it. But then there's other stuff though. I mean, I listened back to the '70s, the stuff when I was growing up that's burned in my memory was pop.
Right. I mean, yeah, exactly.
Right.
As long as you have something to say. I think that's the most important thing, even if it's just something goofy and creative, something to say. And I like to classify my music as smart pop because I put a lot of time into my lyrics and how I write. And so I don't necessarily think all pop is crap. I mean, like you said, there are some people that are like, pop is terrible. But it's not. I mean, there are some really clever lyrics to Lil Wayne. There are really clever lyrics to Katy Perry's stuff. So
yeah, Katy Perry comes to mind when I think about clever. I mean, I'm not a big fan of hers, but I've listened to a few of her things, and I think the label of being dippy and ditzy and all that's kind of. I think she's more savvy, and people give her credit.
I think so too. Yeah, definitely. So. Especially if you read her lyrics, they're really awesome.
So I'm going to get to your mom here, talk to her a little bit. Okay, I don't want you to sit there near your microphone and say, "I'm just here along for the ride." Anyway, how long ago was this that you were diagnosed with breast cancer?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. And
so I'm now a 1-year breast cancer survivor.
Did you stay in the Flint area too?
No. Krysta came to Flint to do a breast cancer gig.
Okay.
Ironically. And then the following week, I got the test results back from my second tests, and it turned out to be positive for breast cancer. So I had to call her, and she was in Ann Arbor. And I said, you have to come home, because I thought about it for a day. And I thought, no, I have to tell her. She's my only child, and she has the right to know, and I need her. And she came right back, and we looked up places to go, and Dana-Farber was number 4, and she lived in Boston, and she said, Mom, you're coming with me. And that's where I spent almost a year with treatment.
That's like, yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with it's called, what is it called?
Dana-Farber Cancer Institute.
I have heard of that, yeah. I mean, it's just, but I've only moved around here a little bit and went to some other states a few times. Like, I think I've been to 10 states. I mean, I'm not a world traveler by any measure, but the East Coast, also, I know the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, I think it is, is like a significant place for cancer research and all kinds of research. So, I mean, but, is there any kind of comparable place locally, do you think? Or were you just told you'd recommend people to go to there?
She said, Mom, number 1 was Anderson in Texas. Number 4 was Dana-Farber.
And I was living in Boston, so it was easier for me working.
Right.
I was gigging a lot, and so it was just made more sense for her to come and stay with me. But we were actually at a Hurley event yesterday for breast cancer, and I performed. And they seem like they're really doing a great job at, making all of their patients feel like their family instead of just another number.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool to see locally that, people are taking an interest in breast cancer awareness and also breast cancer early detection and things like that. So
the causes of it, I mean, are still quite shrouded, though. I mean, one year I remember reading that if women who drank too many cups of coffee, they were more at risk. Then 5 years down the road, that's not the case. Then when it comes to other forms of cancer, it just came out like research they've done for 380,000 people for brain cancers and other types of cancers related to cell phone use, finds that there's no real strong connection between that. It's cancer in itself, and it's like a frustration, though, because I've had so many family members die of forms of cancer, or all suffer because of it. They didn't die, but they later on died of other things.
Right.
But cancer seems to be just, we don't know what causes a lot of forms of it. I mean, it's like, is it the additives we put in our food? Is it?
I think a lot of it has to do with environment, and I think a lot of it has to do with what we put into our body and how we treat ourselves, the air that we breathe. I have my own opinions on why there hasn't been a cure for all cancers yet. But I really think that it has a lot to do with how we treat ourselves. When you're putting McDonald's in your body every day, that's not good. When you're mass-producing food, that's not good.
I wasn't. I was a healthy eater.
Yeah, see, so...
But stress, too. I mean, there's
stress.
A lot of things come from stress. So I'm not quite sure, but I really hope that they do find a cure for all cancers, not including breast cancer.
There's different types of chemicals in the body when a person suffers stress. I mean, our ancient ancestors had to flee the dinosaur, the man-eating saber-toothed tiger or whatever, so they fled. And we have a tendency to think of all stress in that form. It's either flight or fight.
Right.
We don't our brain doesn't react, say, this is just a annoying person at work, or this is just a real hectic schedule for my life.
Or this is my job,
right.
And it's stressful.
You see, but the chemicals produced are basically stemming from this kind of flight or fight. I got to get out of the way. I'm going to be killed and eaten.
Right.
And so it seems like we don't have a balance. So that could be the cause. I mean, everything you do in your body is going to have some kind of chemical that elicits it, and other ones that kind of knocks down the other chemicals after the effect.
Right.
The buildup of those chemicals might be the cause of this, and then it's a kind of a chain reaction. Who knows? I mean, you've seen evidence of that. I mean, but I've known guys that scarf down, crap food, junk food, smoke like a chimney, drank like a fiend, lived to be 90.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, and they would chase skirts and drink and, and nothing happens to them. My dad lived to be 74. He died of a heart attack. His dad smoked and drank and was a skirt chaser, and he lived to be 78. But he had lung cancer the last 5 years of his life.
Right.
But he still lived a longer time than my dad did.
Right.
So that 4 more years, I'd like to have my dad around at least 4 more years.
Yeah.
So I just I don't know if you're too young to remember. I think your mom and I probably remember the Yul Givens. He was like a naturalist. He taught people how to eat off the land and all that. He died of stomach cancer.
Really?
Yeah, he died of stomach cancer, and he ate tree bark and pine needles and boiled
Maybe it was
beetles
the tree
and
bark
crap
that
like
got him.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, it's just that's what's the infuriating part about cancer is because we can't seem to nail down the cause of it.
No.
Right.
And a lot of it's because if it's relevant to the individual, then how can you actually map that out to say, boy, because this is your body chemistry, or
Right.
it's just frustrating.
It's mind-boggling.
Going through that, there's probably a lot of things when you're going through the treatments. What kind of treatments did you receive, by the way?
Chemotherapy and radiation after 3 surgeries. So I went through it all and lost my hair and stood it around bald and beautiful, and refused to buy a big wig because it was too much money.
Yeah.
And I thought, no, I'll be okay. And I just put on my eyebrows and fake eyelashes, and I was okay. I was okay because I was with my daughter, and I was going to live. I knew that. I promised her I'd live to be 100 when she was 4 years old. So I was going to live, and I still am going to live.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely like to, I'd like to see my parents live to be, as long as they're in good health and weren't in pain, I'd like to see them live as long as they wanted to live. I mean, I wish that for everybody, you know.
I'm going to be 300 when I die.
Yeah, it's like I like what Woody Allen said it best. I don't want to achieve immortality by through my work. I want to achieve immortality by not dying.
Yeah,
you know, it's like,
exactly.
But it's like, no, I mean, we all know that's the thing we got to face. I mean, and I was sitting around one of the bars one night with my friend. He was a little bit younger than I was, and I sat there. There was kind of quiet with all the torch. And I looked down and I said, now that we're older, do you ever sit around and think about how I'm going to die? And just took a sip of his beer, and he just said, every day. You know?
Nice.
And, you know, and it's like, you know, that's like morbidity. I mean, you can't do that, you know, but, and it's like you had to. Now, how did you go through this? Because, I mean, how did you go like affirmation route, or just, did you need all that stuff, or did you just have it in yourself that knew you had to get through this?
We read a lot. We got very intelligent about the disease, and I could see that it wasn't what I ate, it was what I needed to do now. And there was hope, because I wanted there to be hope. I needed to live.
And they caught it early, too. So early detection really does save lives. And I think getting, annual mammograms and just staying really attuned to your body and doing the self-examinations and making sure that you are going to a hospital that you feel like they're going to treat you like family instead of just another number. Making sure it's the right hospital for you. Asking a lot of questions. Make sure that the treatment that you're getting is actually what you need. So I think there were a lot of things that went into her success at recovery of cancer. Yeah,
because it just sounds like when you're sitting there talking about your promise to your daughter, that's a touching thing. I mean, it's like we kind of forget that, and it's kind of silly that we forget, but I think that basically when we go through it, we have all these confrontations with people who have different worldviews or whatever, and basically we still got to come back to the point. I've talked to the people at the Occupy movements, and they make a thing. One of the guys comes in, does a show, keeps on. We got to rediscover the human factor, and I think that's what's been lost in all the dialogue of politics about funding for things, is the human factor. Right. Now, like for example, I don't know if it's true or not for all insurance companies, but they'll pay for a man to get Viagra or Cialis or something. Which, hey, I'm a guy. I mean, we all have to think of that stuff. But I mean,
Viagra for all.
What do you say? I
said Viagra for all.
But they won't pay for like diagnostics, like mammograms, for a lot of times for women.
Right.
Now that's like, I mean, I would say, God, you could do without getting some, if that's a major reason why you want to get Viagra. But it's like, this is a life-threatening thing, and you're really questioning if a woman needs it. To me, I don't see how
because
that's
it costs them money, and I think it's ridiculous. A couple of my friends actually, who are under 30, have been diagnosed with breast cancer, and they beat it, which was great. But it's like, I think even as a young, in your mid-20s, you need to be concerned about getting mammograms, and you need to be concerned about giving yourself those tests at home to check. I mean, it's important, not to scare anybody, but I think it's important just to be aware, like I said, of your body.
So I know 2 guys who had breast cancer.
Right. Yeah.
2 guys, and they said the surgery was very painful, and let's face it, they don't have the massive amount of tissue there as a woman does. I mean, I don't want to be graphic, but I mean,
right.
And they said it was painful. They found loss of like muscle coordination and stuff because of the surgery, and and they said they said it was a very kind of a humbling experience, because they're a guy and they have to say, I'm here for breast cancer, and they said it's kind of like, so they're really sympathetic to the whole breast cancer research, and I think there is I'm encouraged by that. There's a lot of money being spent because women are they comprise a larger portion of the population than men do currently in the United States, and but it's just the human factor. Basically, just get aside of what for the form of cancer, it's just I don't see how somebody who's facing that cancers of any sort, would have. I mean, I get really discouraged very quickly. I just don't see how somebody could pull that together and
Fight or
stay with
flight.
it. Is that all it is, though?
No, I
Yeah.
listened to her write the words to this song, I'll Believe in You. And as I was listening to her plunk it out on the piano, and I listen to it every day still, it gives me hope and more encouragement that I will live.
So you encourage people, anybody going through this, to find some source of inspiration they could tap into.
Yes.
And that's like
Family. You
no.
need your family. You need whatever child you have that wants to be involved, because she saved my life. That's how I feel. And I brought her into this world, and I will save hers. It's so much love.
Yeah, it's like so many kids will just go on their careers and they just mom and dad get sick. I hope the best. And I'm not making fun of them and that, but it just seems some people this impacts upon them greater, and they just can't. They can't go on until this is taken care of. They want to put everything on hold, and I think that's like I think that's what I think. I want more people to be like that. I mean,
We love each other.
Yeah, and it seems like that's lost in a lot of people, though. I mean, some people, I don't think they hate family members or anything. Maybe there is. I mean, this is Flint. There's a lot of dysfunctionalism out there. I've seen families want to bash each other, try to bash each other's skull in. So I mean, it's just like, and then you see the instance of you and your mother.
Oh, we get in fights sometimes
Oh,
too.
yeah, of course, but I mean, but I don't think you
We're
want
still alive though, so that's good.
Yeah, I don't think you're chasing each other around the room or around the house with a knife or a baseball bat.
No, that was when I was 13, but we let that go.
Mom says, "Yeah, you put me through hell on that one." See, she's got an ace in the hole. It's called guilt.
Right.
Certain ethnic groups are better at using it, I guess. But my mom was good at. They always talk about Jewish moms using guilt. My mom was a Hungarian, but I don't think she lacked a lot of their skills. I don't. I mean, she's been gone almost 9 years, and I still feel guilty about a lot of stuff. So I mean, yeah. But it's like I think you got. I don't think guilt's a bad thing if it actually serves a purpose.
Right. I don't think you can hang on to it forever, though.
No. It's like that's
I was
true.
a terror as a teenager, but I was
Little
bit.
Your mom's writing a tell-all book, so when you do make it famous, she can blackmail you with it.
I'd never do that.
I made her really mad once, and I remember locking myself in my bedroom, and she's pounding on the door like, "Open this door! I'm gonna kick your butt!" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. Sure, come on in. I'm right here."
Yeah, it's my family. My mom and I had like. We would yell at each other. My dad would just interject himself, and you can't talk to your mother. We'd both turn on him, so he just learned to show that. Because if 5 minutes later, it was cool. I mean, and so we'd be swearing at each other, and 5 minutes later, can you hand me that plate, or can you do that? I mean, that's what it was. I mean, just that.
Right.
If you didn't fight back, I think she got pissed.
Or bored.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what it was. She was she was a fireball. I mean, she was a fireball. I mean, she was a very fiery personality.
Like
so.
Krista.
Yeah. Well, it seems like, if you want, I think you probably have that in you too, though.
Oh, yes. Don't let her fool you. She may be small, but she's terrifying.
I was gonna say, I'm sitting there. You're like sitting up in the chair higher. It's like, oh, did I put a smaller chair? And I said, I think they're about the same height.
Yeah. No.
So,
Yeah. She's yay high.
So it's like, no. You recommended the early detection, to constantly check yourself, I guess. And,
once a month when you have your period, go and check your breasts. Check the tatas. Make sure they're okay. They're your friends.
Yeah, it's like, and I mean, I've seen T-shirts. And it's kind of humorous, but it's a good reminder to save the tatas.
Yeah, save the tatas.
I think that's kind of good. I mean, it is a very sobering, subject. But I mean, you just can't have this black curtain type of mentality, I mean,
Right.
You
can't live in fear.
I think I would, it's like there's enough out there to be fearful of. I mean, I really think that it's face it, no matter what you do in your life, how good you are, what you eat, how many you do, you're still going to have something coming after you, death. I mean, it's just that's scary. I mean, that's always in the mind.
We're all dying, actually, right this second.
My grandfather, when I was 9 years old, he was over the house, and I don't know why he felt the need to tell me this. We're just sitting there, and we're watching TV or something. And he goes, the minute you're born is the minute you begin to die. I was 9 years old.
You're like, thanks.
Could you imagine what I was like?
Did you pass the cookies?
Yeah, I think it was because the Eastern Europeans have a very, very dark kind of view of life, I think.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, it's like if you ever listen to their music, the Chadashes and stuff, they start out slow and then they go up and then they slow. It's like, they're like, basically, I think it's a manifestation of bipolarness or something. I don't know, but, it's like, so I'm in bed trying to sleep at night thinking like, every second I'm here, I'm starting to die.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like deep subject for a little mind to handle,
Yeah.
It's like, and then my dad's family was morose as hell. I mean, family meals, like, would sit around and talk about how they want their funeral afterwards, you know. I mean, and each
I don't want a funeral. I want to be stuffed.
stuffed.
Like this. And then they can move me around from like house to house as the
Go to concert
years
venues like
pass.
that and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they just carry me around.
kind of like a little less of a weird version of like a weekend at Bernie's. No.
I'll just still get paid for appearances. They'll just roll me in.
She made an appearance, not a performance, but an appearance. No, it's like, but I'm glad you see if you have a very good sense of humor about everything, and you came out of this. Would you say you gained something from this, or do you wish I wish it never happened, or do you think you actually become a different person because of this for the better?
I'm a stronger person, and I'm more determined that I will live and enjoy my daughter and someday her family. And yeah, and I'm babysitting for free for a friend, and that makes me feel good too, because it's what you give that makes the world change.
I think that's a great way of looking at things, because I mean, a lot of times I think everybody gets caught up on what am I getting out of life? Am I happy? But I mean, I don't think getting everything you want in life is going to make you happy either.
It's giving.
Yeah.
It's giving and making a difference.
It's like sometimes you're just impressed. I mean, I've been overwhelmed by people who we've had people help us out with the studio, and they're just friends of mine, and they stepped in and I'll do this. I mean, stuff was major. I'd had to pay major money for. They did it. They give us materials. They did this, and I'm like, I was kind of amazed at the generosity of these people.
The community.
Yeah, and it's like it is like it does it kind of makes you less cynical to some degree,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
And so I mean I think my dad did that after he had a heart attack and a triple bypass, and my dad was a real hard person to deal with, and it was like in the 80s, and then he lived like 20 some years after the fact, but he become very kind of like almost like overly sentimental, because I mean
Humbled. Humbled.
yeah,
maybe?
very humbled. Yeah, I mean he used to talk with a lot of bravado about death, and I don't care. And he was just kind of really wasn't so eager to go that route anymore. I mean,
Right.
and I think it did help change him. And I don't know your personality beforehand, but I mean, did you experience a lot like that too? That your things you did take for granted, things you were obsessed about, weren't all that important, perhaps?
Working so hard, yes, I was obsessed with it. And now there's more than that. There's more to life.
And it's like, of course. Anyway, we'll go back to your music here now. Do you want to play a track? And I could put up a picture while play the song.
Sure. Why don't
Okay.
we play the "I'll Believe in You" song, the one
Okay,
that I
no.
wrote for my mom?
Okay, and I'll get up on that. Here, pull this up.
Cool.
Track 9, correct?
Yep. It's the last one on the record.
My mother was diagnosed with breast cancer this year. Stay strong. Together, you and I beat this disease.
Searching for an answer, a simple reason why.
Been sifting through the details, weighing on your mind.
Never thought the day would come when life would turn you upside down. Oh no, no. I'll be right beside you, there to hold your hand.
I'll pick up every problem, help you understand. No matter which way the wind decides to blow, it'll be alright, alright.
I believe in second chances. I believe in life's romances. I believe that love will see us through. I believe in the strength of the heart, a hope that lights up the dark. But sometimes it takes two. So I believe in you.
Okay. So we're back?
We're back.
Yeah, so that's a great song.
Thank you.
Now, who was the one that lending back up? For soap vocals and all that.
When I wrote this song, I had the We Are the World type of song in my head, and I was back when I was living in Boston, and the guy that produced this, my fiance, Jan Perchek, did the track, and it's amazing. And I had some friends that I went to school with and also that I had met, and I asked them to be a part of it. And so, you've got people like Lisa Bello, who's really big in Boston and beyond, and Danny McLean and Rashaba Green, who's part of this awesome band called The Lights Out, and Rachel Gambiza, and just all of these people that, I met and grew to love, and they participated in the project. My friend Ryan Brown. So, yeah, there's a lot of people there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a very good group effort there. I mean, it's like, of course, even if you were doing a song solo, there's so many people behind you.
Yeah.
It's like so many people that you have to have there. I mean, you can't, like a studio is being run by somebody. Doing like the past few years, what I've been doing, you get an appreciation for what they do.
The community that you have to have to do something like that, especially with a song like that.
Yeah, it's like, now I can't, that sounds like something that would, I think that's a pretty inspirational song. I mean, it's like a tearjerker song.
Thanks.
A lot of people like that. I mean, I do too. I mean, there are times everybody wants to hear sad songs. There's stuff, it's a stirring kind of emotional thing. I mean, it's, of course, not sad, but
it's a hope song. You know, it's about going through a tough time and coming out the other end inspired and changed, and hopefully in a positive way.
Now, like, would you say that your mom's experience is probably made you more aware of things too? Kind of, you live vicariously through your mom's effort, struggle.
When she first told me she got diagnosed, I panicked. Because I'm the only child, and so she's my only mom. And I think, I definitely looked at life differently after that happened, and being with her for a whole year and watching the progression of the treatment and watching the chemo and the radiation and, the surgeries and things like that. It does humble you as a person and makes you realize how human you really are.
Yeah, it's like I don't know your age, so if you want to reveal that, but I mean,
I'm ageless.
Ageless. Okay, that's a great way of summing it up. I don't know if that's still kind of prohibited. A lot of women used to have an aversion to discussing their age. And
I can tell you how old I am.
Okay.
I'm 63.
63. Okay. My mom always thought it was kind of bizarre. She goes, "You are born when you are born. You can't help it.
Right.
The only thing you do is just do what you want to do and be a good person, but you can't help your age." Because that's just.
I think age is how old you feel. I mean, sometimes I feel like I'm 12. I still like Toys R Us. Yeah. I like that store. It's cool. So I don't know. I just never really been important to me.
And sometimes people around you say, "You're acting like a child." There, no.
Well, it's good. At least I'm not acting like I'm.
I'm assuming because everybody's got their bad side. Everybody just get up one day and just don't feel like being all that great of a person. It's a sustained effort.
Yeah, I'm not the easiest person to live with. You can ask my fiance; he'll tell you.
He's probably sitting there listening, nodding. Oh, hell yeah!
Hi on.
No.
Sitting at home watching me. That right, yeah. It's thekrystashow.com. Yet again.
He's back in Boston, or
he is in Nashville.
Nashville, okay.
Yep, he's busy in Nashville working on a project. Our friend Christy Lee from Boston is actually coming in about a week to record a couple songs with him. So
does he have his own studio? Or?
He does.
Okay,
yep.
Cool.
Vibrant Productions Music.com. I think.
What's it called?
Vibrant Productions.
Okay. So I mean, it's like we're a studio here, obviously a different focus, but we do have the capability of recording. We're building the one upstairs, and that's going to be, the studio upstairs is going to have better capabilities to do a whole band, record a whole band playing live, a lot easier. As you can see, it'd be pretty cramped in there.
Yeah.
But we have done it. We have put bands on there, kind of reduced the level of, output, and, it sounded pretty decent. It really did. There was a couple of bands we done, had play in there. So
you can cram band in here.
Yeah, I had people tell me when I first started this, like, well, that's too small for a studio. And all the professionals I had, like Eric and Carson, who used to be radio personalities from this area, they said, "Hell, this is bigger than the one we started with on Detroit." And and it's like, I don't see what they get this misconception the studio is much bigger or something.
Yeah, I don't know. When Jan and I first started working together, I recorded in a closet.
Sometimes you have to do that for the acoustics and for the what effect you want to go for.
I would have rather recorded in the bathtub. That would have been more fun, but the closet was cool.
Yeah.
So you do what you got to do, and half the time it really doesn't make too much difference about the space. I mean, yes, the acoustics make a difference, but it's the people that you work with, and make sure that you work with professional people like yourself and it turns out really good. So
I'm hoping to learn more about to doing the level kind of recording that you would use for recording bands and musical, musical endeavors. But it's something that's like on the, it's on the down the road.
it's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot of miking. It's a lot of technique. It's a lot of, Next time I'll bring Jan. We'll have a whole conversation about audio stuff with him.
Yeah, it's like everybody's got their own, like, I hate this brand. This brand sucks. This brand's the greatest. I think a large portion of that's just subjective.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Maybe you like the packaging. It's the way it smelled when you opened the first one.
Right.
That's about it. Because I can't see much difference. And like when I was working in audiovisual technologies over at the colleges, people want SVHS video, and I said, 99% of the people you're showing this stuff to won't even recognize there's a difference.
Yeah.
You'll see the machine's different. That's about it. So.
I'm not like a techie gal.
Yeah.
I like what I like. I like my Taylor guitar.
Taylor guitar.
I like my Taylor. Yeah.
It's like, no, you play acoustic, right?
Yeah.
Acoustic. Do you ever play electric or?
I had an electric guitar when I was a teenager, and I just, not really, not so much. To be honest with you, when I moved to Nashville, I figured I should probably get a good guitar, because I didn't want to lug around a keyboard, and so I got this Taylor when I was in Boston, and I've been playing it since I've been in Nashville.
Not made in the USA yet, or?
Yeah. Good.
Yeah, Gibson.
USA.
Gibson.
And just for the record, I only drive American-made cars.
I
only drive American-made.
See, that's like a loss. I have friends that live in other parts of the country, and they're just like, they don't even a lot of them are not even aware of the General Motors product line.
Really?
Yeah, California, and surprisingly, down south, the people from Alabama are really dead set against General Motors products and all this, and they buy Japanese overwhelmingly.
Really?
Yeah, and I thought these guys down there would be the flag-waving patriots buying the Ford or Chevy pickups,
Mm-hmm.
And no, it's not the case, I guess. I mean, they're just like a lot of them act like and out in California, it's like you're really a weirdo, I guess, if you have a GM product or American-made product. I mean, they don't even know what the hell those things look like for the most part.
Okay, if you give me a pink Mercedes, I might take it.
A pink Mercedes. Okay. Anybody out there who wants to give out a vehicle? No.
But other than that, no. I make sure to drive American made. I think it's important. Keep it here. Support your people.
So you were connected probably. Well, growing up here, you probably saw the impact of General Motors. And the lack of General Motors.
My dad worked for GM, and then he worked for Delco Electronics.
Yeah. See, my dad was a postal worker. So, but I grew up between the smokestacks of Buick and AC up here, and I grew up right in the neighborhood where the studio's at, so it's like I was always exposed to it. I mean, I saw the new cars, steady stream of them coming up on Lee Street all the time, going to the place we're going to ship. Yeah, it was impossible to cross Lee Street when I was a kid, because there's certain times there are like all these. What they do is they drive the brand new cars up and put them in these parking lots, waiting for the auto shipper to pack them up and take them where they had to go, and then they had a shuttle bus taking people back and forth. And you're back to the place they go get more cars and drive them back up there.
Right.
It's a constant stream. It was like it's really weird to see this street, Lee Street now, just pretty much like you could shoot a cannon down there at times and not hit anything.
And it's sad, and I think people forget. The impact Flint had on the auto industry.
Well, on everything.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's face it, the music. When you go back to music, we had Sherwood. I don't, much
Grand
about
Funk Railroad.
Yeah, Sherwood Forest. A couple of it was 2 Saturdays ago. We're all to a Barnall and Linden, and they had like this they had a few people who were connected to the Sherwood Forest days out there in Davison, and it was really cool. I mean, seeing a lot of these pictures, and you would just be surprised at the sheer number of players and bands and stuff like that came through this area back in the 70s and the late 60s, early 70s. It was like amazing. I mean, the IMA used to be in existence.
I know.
Kicking out some. I mean, you had Nazareth, April Wine. You had Ted Nugent there. You had all these bands there. On pretty much a continuous lineup. And we just don't do that anymore.
Right.
Because we don't got a place to put them, really. So what would be your, down, say, 15, 20 years on the road, what would Krysta Youngs want to look back and say, God, I'm really geeked up still that I did that? What would you?
I would say I was really geeked that I came here today.
Oh, cool. See, people, that's cool. I mean, that's cool to hear. Yeah, and if it's just flatter, we still take it. But anyway, now, do you want to play a live song? Or am I putting
I would love to.
I know you got a guitar there, but I don't know if you're ready, mentally
sure.
to do it. Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. So.
I'm going to take these off.
Okay.
So this is a song that I wrote when I first moved to Nashville with a really good friend of mine, Robin Gosh, who's an amazing guitar player, songwriter, writer. And I was trying to find my place as a pop rock singer in this country world, and so I wrote this, and it's called Old Piano.
some time with this old piano, waiting on a song that'll light up the shadows. Say a little lie, but I won't believe it, no. Holding on tight till I don't need it. Been trying so hard, but I keep on losing. Standing still while the game keeps moving. If I give up, I'll never know, no. So I'll trust my soul at this old piano. And I'll try to figure it out, figure it out. I'll try hard, 'cause I've gotta let it out for this old piano falls apart. Been feeding all my late night fears with cigarettes and red wine tears, but hope won't let me let this go. So I'll keep coming back to this old piano. And I've gotta figure it out, figure it out. I'll try hard, 'cause I've gotta let it out for this old piano falls apart, feels a friendly emptiness. But he never wanted what was best for me. If I have to sit down here all night, I swear I'm gonna get it right on the inside. On the inside, 'cause I've gotta figure it out, figure it out. I'll try hard, 'cause I've gotta let it out before this old piano falls apart. And spending some time with this old piano, waiting on a song that'll light up the shadows.
Great. That sounds great. I mean, you got to get your headphones back on, so I'll wait here. Anyway,
All right.
that was a great song.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's really good. And it's like, I always like am amazed that people can strum a guitar and sing.
So am I.
And how do you do that? I just like,
Couldn't tell you. I have no idea.
it's like, at some point you're like, God, I'm doing this. You know, and it's like,
Yeah, at some point you do say that. It's really cool actually. I a little secret out there. I actually didn't play and sing for myself until I moved to Nashville. And you're in this community where that's what it is. It's a songwriting community. And so, like I said, I bought this guitar when I was in Boston right before I moved, and I was like, no, I'm gonna play. So I've been practicing and doing a ton of writers' nights, like I said before, and it's really cool. Like, I look down at my fingers sometimes, and I'm like, I'm so proud of myself because they're all calloused up. I'm like, I've been working hard.
yeah,
So-
that's my friend did that one time. He come around as he learned how to play guitar, and he came around here, feel my hands. Like, what did you just touch?
Feel, yeah, no.
It's like, pull my finger kind of
Yeah.
thing. And he goes, what? Look, and I said, what? He said, you feel that? And he said, oh, man, it's like cool. I got all these calluses forming on
Yeah.
my fingertips from playing the guitar.
It's
so
really cool. It's awesome.
You know that one line from Brian Adams' song, played it bought a beat up 6-string, bought it at the 5 and dime, played it till my fingers bled.
Summer '69.
Yeah.
Bought a first real 6-string.
Yeah.
Bought it at the 5 and dime.
I had a 5 and dime in the neighborhood. I don't think they ever played, sold guitars, but I don't even think they sold kids guitars. But
Maybe it wasn't a 5 and dime.
Yeah.
Maybe it was like a pawn shop, but that doesn't sing well.
Yeah, you
Got
can't
my
say,
first
bought it at
real
a pawn shop,
6-string.
bought it.
Bought it at a pawn shop.
That would work.
So
I don't
good.
know. Yeah, 5 and dime, I guess. Yeah, you got to take creative license, right?
Right.
Yeah, and it's like he was old enough to play in a band. That's probably 16 or 17. He's a lot older than most of his contemporaries were at that time in that music scene. Because, it's like I was born in '63. At 69, I was, I learned how to tie my shoes at that point. That's about it.
That's good.
yeah. But it's like, now, how long have you been involved in music?
Forever.
Forever.
I wanted to do it since I was a kid, and I remember my grandmother has a Titi. She has a house up north, and on Lake Huron, and I remember coming in to the house from the beach and looking at her, and I was like, I think I can sing. And she was like, well, you should take some voice lessons, because she's really, really good with music, and she hears stuff in her head. Today she told me she's just like, I have 1,000,000 songs in my head. And she plays, and she can hum a tune, and it's really cool, because I think I get it from her. Because I love my mom to death, but singing is not her strong suit.
I'm surprised. I got a friend who, he's married to a woman, teaches voice. His kids are all into it. He can't carry a tune in the proverbial bucket.
Yeah.
Well,
she can. She practiced. She could do it.
But
She needs to practice. Practice makes perfect.
My own grandfather, my mom's dad, he could play any stringed instrument. If he heard something, he could pick it up, pluck away on it.
See, that's crazy. I can't do that.
I mean, that's like, this skipped me. I mean, I was a horn player for a while, but I never learned how to read music. So
Yeah.
that was a disappointment to my father.
Aw.
He loved music. I mean, he was in a marching band. He was in the Shrine Band. He was an unofficial member of the Shrine Band. He was like 8 years old.
Nice.
Yeah, he's going on trips with his grandfather and his dad.
Did they make him wear the hat too?
No, they weren't allowed to do that. They're very particular who they allow wear
Really?
hats. Yeah, that's
My
how I know they
uncles
look
are
silly,
Shriners.
but I have a lot of appreciation for the Shriners.
Yes.
the Masons,
Me too.
so they are good people. I mean, they're drunks. A lot of them are. Yeah, but they're also
Hey!
but they're very
They make
generous
the party
drunks.
fun.
Well, look at that. I mean, the burn unit and the crippled children's centers all over the country, and I mean, they're just amazing people.
How many of my uncles were part of the Shriners?
At least 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, it's like you got most
And
people.
your
My dad?
your grandfather.
My grandfather?
Mm-hmm.
Who's my...
Pooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's like it's amazing amount of people I talk to, and like I think my dad was one of those, or
Oh, yeah.
yeah, one of those. They go through like, I found this, and there's like the fez, it's just stuck away in a bag in their dad's belongings, and they find it after the man passes away,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people were into it. I mean, and back in the 30s and 40s, that was really big.
Well,
to
that
me.
goes back to the whole thing we were talking about with community.
Right.
And putting back into the community.
Yeah, it's
I was thinking to myself, coming here, and it's been a really hard year for me just adjusting to Nashville, and, not hard, but, it's been a little bit of a transitional struggle. And so I was thinking when I came here how important it is to have people around you that are supportive, and people around that, really care about what you do and that show up to my shows. And so you have to, give back and go to their shows, and just, it's all about what you're saying, the human factor of it
Right.
all. That's what it all is at the end of the day,
I
It's
don't
the most
know.
important thing.
So I'm not a liberal politically, because I think basically everybody should struggle as much as they could to provide for themselves. But I just at times I don't think that your efforts are going to be strong enough in situations where you're having a load placed upon you that very few humans could bear. And so I can understand. But the thing is, one good thing about the United States, I think, is it's far better in other countries. Is there's so many groups out there that try to do that. I mean, dealing with the stuff, the studio, I have all these people coming in from nonprofits, and there's literally hundreds probably in the Genesee County area still wanting to help people. Mm-hmm. Still doing that.
Right.
And more ones being formed every week. And it just...
But I think that it's important also to note that helping other people also means helping yourself. I mean, unless you're solid in your being, you're not going to be able to help other people as well. So providing for yourself and being, able to do that definitely makes a difference on impacting other people as well. So
like now, do you go do performances at places for breast cancer awareness? Like events and.
I did yesterday for
Yesterday,
Hurley.
okay.
That was cool. I did it last year for breast cancer, and then I wrote a song called Pink Christmas 2 years ago, and it didn't really have much to do with breast cancer, but it was right after I wrote the I'll Believe in You song, so I had, that feeling of family, and, pink obviously is the breast cancer color. And so last year when I first moved to Nashville, I did a little online auction for the Pink Christmas CDs, and the money went towards the Children's Hospital in Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm pretty involved in community and making sure that I give back, because I think it's important.
No, Jacqueline, you're I hope you don't mind me calling. I don't know if your last name's different than Krysta.
No, it's the same one.
So no, it's like you say you listened to the song that she wrote and performed. Is it kind of sometimes you sit back and that's my son, that's my kid. My kid's doing this. Is that kind of, is it something hard to believe, or is it?
It's believable because I believe in her.
Yeah.
And she believes in me. And I wanted to say that fighting the cancer was easier on Krysta because I was not sick. I never lost my energy, so it was a good thing. It made me back up and reevaluate what's important.
Yeah, I wish a lot of people could have the impact in their lives, but not have to go through the potentially catastrophic or horrific things. Too bad we just can't learn the lesson from somebody else and say you run with it.
Right.
But I think it's like I think it basically experience is probably the best teacher, and I think if you can make it through the other side, you are going to come out enriched, but you just hope you can come out through the other side.
Exactly.
That's like the scary part of it. Yeah.
And she does promote me all the time. I have these little free download cards, and so everybody she meets, she hands them the download cards and tells them to go to my website, and then she recites all of the lyrics of the song, which is really cool. And I'd like to say, just as an interruption a second, if anyone out there does know someone who has been touched by breast cancer, or you yourself have been touched by breast cancer, or you just need a pick-me-up song, I am offering the song on my website for free as a free download. So if you go to KrystaYoungs.com, and I believe you wrote it up there, KrystaYoungs.com, you can download it for free, pass it along to your friends.
Yeah, it's scrolling through the entire thing and the entire talk we've had here. And
great.
Anyway, I think we'll wrap it up now. Do you want to leave with one of your songs? I could pull it up and
sure.
do that. And
let's you know what? It's almost Christmas. Why don't we do Pink Christmas?
Okay, is that on this the one you gave me, or the one that's still in the package?
I believe that it's the one that's still in the package.
Okay, hold on. Let me see. It's okay. It's I don't have to pull the shrink wrap. No,
I did it for you.
Yeah, thanks. Because I have a hard time with shrink wrap. I don't know who doesn't.
Yeah, no, I have a hard time with shrink wrap.
Yeah, it's like it's meant to keep people out. It's very discouraging to me. I mean, I wouldn't want to hear how many people have probably heard me swearing about it. I mean, it's like if you cut too deep, you're cutting the jewel pack or whatever
the jewel case.
Yeah, I mean it's.
And then you muck it up, and then you're mad.
Yeah, it's like then you're swearing. I mean, it's like I do that a lot anyway. I think I'm a professional swearer.
Well, then you can join my club. Thanks for having me.
Okay, is that the song right now?
That's the song.
Okay, cool. I just fired up. I didn't get a chance to select it. So anyway, we'll leave with that. And anytime you're back in town, or if you want to do a phone interview.
That would be great. Thank you
very
so
much.